Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time again. Come join. One man went to mill. A slight departure from what we usually have, but nevertheless, still the same format. One man went to mill. Come join. Say hello as you're coming in. Nothing at all to do with our politics this session. It's all human interest narratives that we're having. One man went to Mo. Come join. You same format, different city. One man went to Mo. So the hyperlink that I'm posting rather in the room. If you click on that, you can come join us live on screen. So this is all about the human sphere that we're looking to discuss today. So a lady, you know, of course, the wedding day is meant entirely for the bride, and women, they talk about sisterhood, and there are rules and codes around women's sisterhood. So now, on a wedding day, of course, the sisterhood comes fully into play, and all of the women gathered are supposed to do everything possible to make the bride shine for that day. So the bride should be the star of the day, but alas, not at this wedding. So guys, I bring you this. Oh, sorry, bear with me. So Nigerians react as bridesmaid with big boobs outshines bride on her wedding day. So this is the thing. This is a cardinal sin, as far as I am aware, amongst the women. And if anybody has a different thought on it, they should come and share that with me. For youth now to do all you can to outshine the bride on her wedding day is almost unheard of. But alas, this is what happened at a wedding recently. As again, Nigerians react as bridesmaid with big boobs outshine bride on her wedding day. So now let's now see exactly what happened here. Nigerians on social, actually, let me give you a flavor of the clip of exactly what happened before we actually get into the full narration of it. So so bear in mind now that of course you will know who the bride is in this video, and then see now what this lady did rather. So watch this. So who you are looking at is the lady in green behind the bride. So do you see? You can see that not only has she got her chest out, she's also moving forward to match the bride, because of course she should traditionally be behind the bride, but she has also now moved forward to try and match the bride in her stride in order to advertise herself. So watch. So that's the video that is causing offense, and this is how people are reacting to it. Nigerians on social media have reacted to the viral video of a bridesmaid who outshined the bride during her traditional marriage. In the video that has become a growing sensation, the lady, who is yet to be identified as at the time of this report, could be seen seductively exposing parts of her huge body as she danced with the bride and other ladies of the Asoebi, other ladies wearing the Asoebis, that is, during the traditional wedding ceremony. At a point, a man... So let me actually take that from the top again. Nigerians on social media have reacted to the viral video of a bridesmaid who outshined the bride during her traditional marriage. In the video that has become a growing sensation, the lady, who is yet to be identified as at the time of making this report, could be seen seductively exposing part of her huge breast as she danced with the bride and other ladies of the Asoebi during the traditional marriage ceremony. At a point, a man came close to the lady and sprayed some money on her huge chest as the bride watched in amazement. So this is the caption. What are people making of it though? So this is what a Sadif Va has to say. Thank God I don't have nonsense friends that don't know what to do at the appropriate occasion. So that is one person. Another person, the wife self is confused. She don't know what she want dance. And this is another person. If you are dressed like this, it's simple. I'll ask you to sit down or go home. Highest thing I'll do is refund your money. You can't come and promote indecency in my wedding. It is not done. This is a Sarah chiming in. Who dance for party, then they spray. So that seems to be backing that lady. Here's another person. It is, so I'll play it in the background actually so you can see what is being referenced. African, while I see you, this is what we are talking about today. This is a wedding that took place somewhere. You see the bride, of course, and then you see the women that are supposed to support her, who are meant to be a step behind. But alas, look at how this lady played it out. So I'll play this as I read the comments. So you're looking out for the lady just to her left on your screen. So,
okay, so
Teddy says,
what about the one directly behind that lady?
Which one?
There's one also behind. Is she wearing anything?
Oh, behind the one that is flaunting herself.
Yeah.
The light-skinned one.
Oh, that light-skinned one. Is she
it is just
something...
not done, though, is it? I mean, I know we're both men, and this is not really our...
Let's have a quick so like 2 points about this. I think my first impression might just be, well, or maybe 3 things actually. The first thing might be like maybe she's just advertising herself, looking for a husband as well. Maybe she's not married, so maybe somebody will notice her. Or it could then be that she wants to snatch the husband from a friend. And then the last thing I was going to say is when you think about it, it just depends on culture as well. Like, for example, you still have some culture where, literally the breast is just there. They are not really covering it. And it's not really anything big deal. I mean, some of them are even like on YouTube. So from people from that kind of culture, it's not really it's not a big deal. But if you come from the culture whereby, like you're supposed to protect
yourself. Well, this is a Nigerian wedding, and it cannot be the culture of any Nigerian wedding. I don't imagine that anybody will turn up at somebody else's wedding to act in this manner. I mean, look at that. Like you said, the one behind her is almost even naked, isn't she?
Yeah.
Outrageous behavior.
And it seems like it's like a trend now, is it? Like, women not really like our mothers. Our mothers are really very decent. They cover, they make sure they cover. And then you're thinking about in the age of like Christianity, like in kind of like Anglican Orthodox Church or...
Oh, okay. If you look to your right, you see the people to your right. Yes, that is how I understand it. They are modestly dressed and they are about 3-4 paces behind the bride, so that the bride can be in the front and be the center of attention. And then, of course, they are the supporting act. But these two characters here, I think they're on a different mission, because even that dance itself, I'm not quite sure if she's having some... That looks more like an epileptic fit to me than a dance. But nevertheless, it is not behavior.
I think also we have to kind of like ask the question about the bride herself. So because I think that is definitely to be part of those that are wearing the same clothes. So it must be a friend to the bride. So if she's a friend to the bride must know about her before you understand like the character or what kind of like dressing we want. So if I'm the bride, I don't want somebody that would dress like that. In the first place, I'm not possibly going to counter as one of the whatever they call them. What do they call them?
Ashwebi. They call them Ashwebi.
No, I'm talking about the group of ladies that come to follow.
Let's just call them bridesmaids, I think.
Yeah, bridesmaids. So if I know somebody is not going to dress the way I would like, I possibly will not include that as part of...
African Africa. Sorry. You and I were just chewing the fat because we're both men, but forthright is here now. So forthright, are we getting it completely wrong, or is this behavior? Good morning or good afternoon.
Hello, gentlemen. No, your point about it. They are the bride's friends. She knows her friends. And most likely, from what I have seen in preparation towards weddings, all the ladies sort of know what they're going to wear. They've talked about it, if not even seen it. And it's also possible that this bride dresses.
Sorry. You mean the clothes, or how they are going to wear it, or how they are going to design
the
it?
dresses, the design. They usually talk about what they're going to wear, what it's going to look like, and all those kind of things. The bride possibly dressed like that as well. That's why she has those kind of friends. I don't have friends who are going to bear themselves like that, because I just can't gel with them. Because I don't believe in showing your flesh to attract. So I would not be amongst people like that.
Flaunting your assets, as they say.
Exactly. Okay. Because I believe in less is more. If this shows lack of self-confidence.
Is this, if I was to ask you to speculate as to which region of Nigeria this is, because I have my speculation, but if I was to ask you to speculate as to narrowing it down to like a state within Nigeria, where do you think this sort of wedding would be?
I don't think this is Southwest.
No.
I don't think so.
But what about this can happen in the Southwest?
No.
If this were Southwesterners, they'll most likely not be in Nigeria.
It strikes me almost entirely like an Edo wedding to me, because they are the ones that have that level of courage.
Yeah, and that stems from their culture as well. We must not forget that. They normally dress like that. Okay, even their traditional clothes, they wear things like that. Okay.
I was expecting you to be outraged
about this.
Forthright. Huh?
No. I've seen women like this. Even if you look at Yoruba actress, they do this. Yemi Savage came out with her pictures a while ago. You see them all with all their cleavages out. You don't have to be part of the status quo.
It is not really the cleavages out that caught me off guard, but really the occasion, because I'd always thought that traditionally the bridesmaids are meant to be conservative and demure, and then the bride was meant to be forefront and be elegant and outstanding. But then, of course, the people standing out now are those two ladies now. Even the second one that I didn't spot, but African Wild. I don't know why your eyes went there, but I'm watching you. And don't hide.
That one, I'm just thinking, is that like a design, like sort of like
the one that wore it like a bikini, top?
Yeah, some sort of like it's like a color, So they have some kind of like style whereby you have like a brown that is sort of like almost like the color of the skin, but even though you're wearing something.
I don't think
they are not for the wedding.
I understand what I Am African is trying to say, that maybe it has a sheer material. That's
okay. I didn't know
this does not have any sheer material.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean sheer material? The material is not enough to.
No. Sometimes when people wear these revealing clothes, they have like a what's it called? The color of the sheer material is very close to their skin color. So you think that they're not actually covered, but they are.
Oh, right. So she's actually wearing something.
No, she isn't. No, she isn't.
And
this
then,
lady in the front isn't. The lady,
the one at the back.
The one at the back, I think she has that sheer material in her belly.
Okay. I've seen somebody in the north do that caused outrage.
Let me make this. Maybe there's something you don't know. It's about endowment. This dark lady wearing the boob tube is endowed.
Right.
If you can see, the fair lady at the back is not that endowed. If she was wearing the same dress, you would not be this amazed.
What about propriety, though, Forthright? What about propriety? What about being appropriate to suit the occasion?
Like I said, the fair lady at the back is wearing something similar, but because she's not heavy at the top, it's not in your face. So this lady in the front should be, because even the clothes is almost dropping down.
Exactly. I was going to say that. You tell her, how is she holding it up? How is she not falling out?
because it's very tight. It's it's how they know how they hold it up, and she might have tapes around as well to hold it.
Pins and needles, Abby.
Yeah, they usually have tapes that hold it on the inside. But but it's the person who went to even spray her the money. That is the person who is the most
well, exactly. Of course. It's showing appreciation, isn't it? Who wouldn't? Africa, I am African would spray her money too, I'm sure, if he was there. But
because
really,
she should have been more self-controlled at this stage, because it's not the outright night party.
Yes.
So at this point, everybody should be thinking about the bride, but he lost control.
That's
the kind of man you cannot live with a woman.
No, of course. I mean, you don't want her visiting your house. But really, it's the story that people are going to tell about the wedding is the thing. So when people are looking back on your wedding, do you want them talking about you, how beautiful you looked on the day, how you were glowing, etc., or do you want them talking about two of your pals who don't know anything about propriety and who have no restraint or any breadth of understanding of anything, to come half naked to the wedding and start bouncing up and down with trying to knock their own eyes out with What are you making of this, Lynn? Hello, Lynn.
Oh, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Limprim.
Oh, Limprim. So I wasn't quite sure how to, so I just went with the first three. So what are you making of this? I mean, do you approve of this? Are we taking it too far? I mean, I don't think maybe I am African and I don't probably understand. Is this what is done? That you come to a friend's wedding and half naked and start bouncing up and down?
When I first started watching, I thought we were talking about the bride herself, and I was like, well, she looks good. She looks modest. And then you showed the video, and I was like, oh my. So I think this is what happened. My channel is all about peaceful living, and I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I think this is what happened. She went to the tailor, right? And they gave her this maybe the night before the wedding, and she realized, you know what, I have no choice but to.
No, she could have won something else. It's just because here we are talking about, you know that we have not mentioned the bride at all in this wedding now. We are talking about this too, and we're not the only ones. Anybody that is talking about this wedding is not talking about the bride. They are talking about these two people. Is that
unfortunately? Unfortunately,
I think the thing is that if she actually, if it's that kind of like follow that thing about she went to the tailor and then they did the wrong.
It was massacred, exactly. And
she
she's
would have
like,
stayed at the back. I think she would have stayed at the back.
I think at this point she's like, at this point,
I don't think
exactly.
I don't think that's an excuse. If you see how she is acting, then that if you watch her dancing now, then that completely throws that out. If you look at the dance of the other supporting act, but look at her who dancing. Look at this. Is this behavior? Look at this. God Almighty.
She's owning it. She has no choice at this point. I'm trying to be like, you know what? This is like, you know, the best case scenario that's what happened. The tailor did her wrong, and she's like, I'm going to just.
Do you think maybe she's been at the whiskey before? Maybe she's been at the brandy, because I'm not quite sure if she's in full possession of anything. Look at that. But then look at the lady to the other side. So this is behavior, not this one. The one to the right, I think.
Oh, to the right. Well, I think the
opposite side. So this one here, that is behavior right there. Appropriate, well dressed, conservative dancing, but God Almighty.
The bride, I think the bride had a duty here. The bride should have said, I'm sorry, but I think that's something that should have happened. I'm sorry, this is not accepted. This is not accepted.
That's what we're talking about. Like, it seems like the bride herself, she's like, oh, sorry.
Is this not a future side chick to this woman's husband if she's not a side chick already? Because this is a side chick behavior, isn't it? If she's not a side chick already, then she would definitely, because this is a person on a mission. This is not just that's just my way. Even if you're outrageous and outlandish and you can't wear anything that doesn't make you look sexy, you are going to a wedding and the two of you turn up like this. So they are gunning for something. But are they gunning for that man that this woman is getting married to? This is side chick behavior.
I wouldn't say to the man getting married, but you know, there's a lot of people
why
there.
not?
So I mean, there's a lot of people there, so it might not be the man getting married to.
But these two on your screen are Limprin. These two are not looking to get married to anybody, but they are looking to get men. So these are side chicks. I would put it.
So does it mean that the bride herself is like that if it's not our wedding day?
That is the thing. The wife knows her friends. I know my friends. I know where I want my friends to be at my wedding.
But we are saying her friends. We are assuming that they are friends. They could be relatives.
No, well, we don't even know if they are relatives or not at this point.
Yeah.
We don't have that information. But what I'm saying is, if the wife was as endowed as this lady, she too will look inappropriate.
But the wife is she's just off shoulder, isn't she?
Yeah,
and
she's
the gown is full length, so there's nothing in the bride's presentation to say that
that's because she's not
she's
heavy
out
set.
there.
No, that's because she's not heavy set at the top. If she was heavy set like this friend or person, she would look the same way.
But look at her gown; it's the full length.
Yeah, this lady is full length as well. She's holding it up because she's dancing in a frenzy.
Miss Forthright, there are a lot of well-endowed people, and they dress very modestly, even with a shoulder, with the shoulder, I don't know, shoulder revealing dress. I think this is just.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say. That I, as a person, I do not have friends who would dress like this.
Okay, you do.
Me as well.
If somebody turned up at your wedding dress like this, what would you do?
The bride. She knows her friends. This is the kind of people she moves with. This is the way they dress.
Okay, let's remove her.
Unfortunately, she's not big at the top, so no matter what she wears, she won't look vulgar.
Okay, let's remove her and put you in the situation. This cannot be your situation, of course, because you're a respectable, conservative person. But if somebody turns up at your wedding dressed like this, and this comes to you too as well, Limprin, if somebody comes to you, so Forthright first, if somebody comes to your wedding in this manner that these people are presenting, what would you do? I'm not expecting you to go and confront them directly on your day, but what would you do?
I'll find her a scarf. And I'll say, unfortunately, I can't have you dressing, wearing that out. Yes, your tailor may have. And this is the thing. None of my friends, even if the tailor have messed them up, would want to wear that. That is the whole point.
Exactly.
That is the whole point.
Especially on your. But you know what I saw on my Instagram feed just recently this morning. I saw a wedding where it's 2021 and people are just dressing naked.
Exactly.
Your wedding, your special day. People, it's crazy out there now. So
now let me say, okay, sorry, Linford. Let me say,
I'm sure you are thankful you are not single anymore. You don't have to contend with any of this. Imagine, it's wild out there, man. Wild.
That's what I'm saying. This is 2021, and people are showing up naked, basically.
Let me say this. I think I've lost my thoughts now.
I'm sorry.
But the thing, Forthright is, at these weddings, we are saying it's a young generation, and this is the way they play it now. But there are moms and grandmas in that place. If you turned up at a wedding like that, and my mom is there, that thing that they throw the moms, she will take hers off and come and wrap it around you, and tell you that I think maybe you may be cold or something. That is what she would do by way of telling you off.
Exactly.
I mean, it's outlandish behavior.
But then you forget that this is 2021, and our youth they're gonna be like, "Excuse me, why are you putting that on me?"
Well, no, you just give them a slap. This is Nigeria now. We still have koboko. We still have koboko.
Not with my kind of aunties and mother.
Excuse me, are you the first person to go to abroad? Are you the first person to learn English? Excuse you, what? They will dish you slap.
So let me say this. Yes. This is not the first time that a bridesmaid has outshined the bride for different reasons. if you have a sister or cousin or friend who is, that hourglass figure, no matter what they wear, everybody is going to start looking at them. They can't help it. Okay, first of all, even if they were all covered, people will still talk about them. It was the same with Kate Middleton. People talked a lot about her sister. She
Yeah,
was
but do they have,
conservatively dressed.
just speaking to the female code, the sisterhood, do they, if you're saying that a statuesque figured person that knows that she draws attention, is among in the sisterhood code, is it the received understanding that if you are going to somebody's occasion and that person, especially this sort of occasion, is it the understanding that that you attract attention? Is it the understanding that you seek to tone yourself down in whatever
Yes.
way, just not
Yes.
to be at the forefront of events?
Exactly. So that friend would not then wear anything revealing because she knows already that even covered up, people would look at her. So she was going to try to tone down as much as possible to give a friend or sister, wherever the bride is, that's a bit of shine, but she can't help it. But this situation here is a different matter altogether.
Okay, I was saying I suspected, and I'll come to you, Lynn, in a moment. Then we'll go to the next story, and I'd like you to stay because this next one might tickle you even more. I've seen a similar clip a long time ago when the bride, somebody similarly, that one was even suitably dressed, but she was dancing a bit better than the bride, and the bride stopped and cautioned her that, look, don't try it, though, and then she did like this and sent her to the back, So, so a no-nonsense bride, but what says you? That question to you too as well, Lynn, just in terms of the sisterhood code, what is propriety? And using that example that Fortright gave us, if you know that you have that statuesque figure that draws attention and you are going to somebody's occasion, what is propriety in terms of how you present yourself and how you want the person at the center of that occasion to shine?
So I saw an Instagram feed just this morning. Like I said, it was a wedding, and one of the guests was wearing not white, but at least close to white. Should almost look like a bride, and I think these are things that shouldn't be done. But like I said, in the age that we are in, there's a lot of people that want that attention, and actually, I want to say they want to, outshine the bride on purpose. So unfortunately, as the bride, you just keep doing what you're doing. You know you're confident person. I mean, you're the one getting married. So whoever is trying their best to do whatever they want to do, I'll just leave them to God. There's nothing I can do on that day because they're not going to mess my day up and make me look bad.
Okay. So to both of you now, because we're going to new territory now, are you both Christians, Fortright and Lynn Prayne?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm a Christian.
And are you devout? Are you practicing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So stay there because this is a moral maze that we're about to walk through, but it is an adult themed one. So the theme is along the lines of what we've just discussed. So this is a moral maze. So I'll bring you the narration and then I want to sample your opinion after. So just hang there. We've got Sly Big joining us. Hello, Sly. Put yourself on mute and let me present this story. I know you want to comment on as soon as you see boobs, you're immediately joining us, Sly Big. I'm coming for you. But let me bring this story first. Okay, now this, as I did have it lined up on a momento. Okay, so this is a moral maze, as I said, and this goes to the Bible, and this goes to male-female relationship as well. What happens in the other room, as Malam Buhari likes to put it. So what happens in the other room and how that happens, this is now one thing that is being presented by a Bishop Chris Kwahovue. I'll spell his last name for you, and then if you're able to pronounce it, then please help me. Is Kwakpove. So that's the spelling of the name. So I'll call him just Bishop Chris from here on in. So this is a position that has been presented by Bishop Chris, and it is to do with what happens in the other room when the lights are off. So oral sex is not stated in the Bible. Bishop Chris says, as in debut edition of Relationship and Marital Issues. So this is his position now. So he's taking a stance. He's a well-known preacher man, Christian person, but of course, this is an area that people have been wanting guidance on, and this is how he is positioned. So again, oral sex is not stated in the Bible. Bishop Chris says in debut edition of Relationship and Marital Affairs. So I'll bring you this story, and I will not oblige you to comment on it because, of course, it might well not be a territory that you want to comment on. Bishop Chris, a Christian minister, trained pharmacist and author, who is the founder and senior pastor of Manna Prayer Mountain Ministry Worldwide, headquarters Lagos, and also the author of Our Daily Manna, a daily devotional, has launched a new relationship and counseling program on social media. In the debut edition of the Relationship and Marital, if everybody can put themselves on mute, in the debut edition of the Relationship and Marital Issues series on Facebook, the respected man of God emphasized that marriage is honorable and indulged everybody to do all they can to always create their own happiness rather than tie their happiness to a fellow human being. So that is the first position that is taken, which is all well and good. In his words, if you are unable to make yourself happy, outside marriage, then you will most likely never be happy in marriage, because you will always be waiting for your spouse to make you happy. When your spouse falls short, you will become miserable. Really and truly, marriage is for companionship, because what happens if your spouse dies? Will you keep getting married over and over again? Bishop Chris went on to say, happiness is a thing of the inside. If you seek to find it outside, the inside, you may never find it. You have to figure out a way to be happy from within yourself. This is the ultimate. As such, it is always best not to go into a relationship if you don't love yourself. During the course of the live session, a follower asked if Christian couples can engage in oral sex, and the bishop responded by saying, oral sex is not stated in the Bible. However, to answer this question on this platform, I will advise such couple to sit down and have the conversation between themselves. It is not in my place to tell you yes or no, or to tell you how to express your love. So this is what this chap says. There is a clip of him saying it, but I'll come into the room first and see who wants to take that on. So I'll come to Sly B. Sly B, you start off first, introduce yourself, and then tell us, maybe you want to start with the first story of this one, and then we go on to the next person. So Sly B.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, happy Sunday to you all.
Auntie.
Yeah, I want to appreciate everybody in the house. I just want to say, although my name is Simi Ahigbe, I'm from Edo State, but currently I'm calling from Italy. So,
very good. Would you say that was an Edo wedding, or should I take that statement back?
Although I saw the video, but I don't know where the wedding took place anyway.
You know Edo people now. I don't know. Are those Edo people, or should I? Huh?
Everybody have their own culture. Though to me, I'm not a tribalistic person anyway.
Oh, no, it's fine. I'm only joking. Carry on.
Yeah, no. So, but in the regard to that video first, I saw the man. We use the word "loose guide." Sorry to use that word. So that is that. One thing I know about this life. To the is it the bride now? Oh, because I believe that girl, she's a friend. You inviting someone to your wedding, you're supposed to know the kind of person you are keeping as your friend in the first place. See human being in a decent look within their intent, you don't know what they have in their mind. Although she might just decide to come up to say, okay, I want to steal this show. You know, those guys, they have these all these fizzy, all these form fair. I just want to come and steal this show today. You know, that, you know, he might just do it casually anyway, but looking at the groom, which is also cannot even, I don't know whether that man is also excited to go there and begin to do what he's doing over there. Hello, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So that is just the scenario I saw there. That is just the scenario. Although we're in a public outlet, it's not palatable. It's not palatable.
But Sly, I take the point. You're saying maybe she's just wanting to be naughty for the day and steal the show. But the intention when you're getting married is that you only do that once in your life. So that is that one and only, where assuming just under normal circumstances, that is the one and only time that that woman would ever get married. And the narrative of that wedding now is two of our friends, or maybe friends of whoever they are, whatever their relationship is with the occasion, the narrative of that wedding, which is going to be a one occasion in the life of that woman, the narrative of that wedding is going to be about these two women that came half naked, bouncing up, and I'm surprised with how big her boobs are. I'm surprised it didn't fly up and knock her out in the eye or something. You know, so that's going to be the narrative of that wedding. So I just think I think it's outlandish, unacceptable, and I think she should pay for another wedding and they should redo it, and she should not be there.
Yeah, because the girl have already spoiled the wedding. Even the groom has already added to the gallery, because like what you said, she had to redo that wedding because it's already at the promise priest. Because it doesn't make sense what we are seeing over there. It doesn't make sense. If you are inviting people to do your shebi, or maybe to do one of your best, or whatever you call it, you have to know the kind of people, if they have self-discipline and self-control. You understand? For you to allow that girl to wear what she wore to that wedding, you're already putting your wedding at stake.
You know, in all of the clips, in all of the times that I've watched and rewatched this thing, I've just noticed that now that I've never once, in all the times that I've watched it, I've never once looked at the bride. So I couldn't even really tell you what the bride looks like. But of course, I can describe in detail what these ladies look like. So out to that next narrative from this Bishop Chris. Do you want to take that first, or
Yeah, I heard when we were reading the monologue or the no. When it comes to this, is it clergyman or the men of God, whatever, you know, I'm very careful because I believe everybody have their opinion. I think like about a few months ago, we also had one of the clergymen, is he something Ede, something like that. I forget the first names. I believe it's something Ede, who came out to say God told him that when a woman is on top of man, something like that, the person will go to hellfire. I think there was something of that narrative. I heard that. So this man also come up with another theory, or with your belief. No, it just based on his opinion base.
But what I like about what this man has said, and why I'm bringing it, is he is not taking ownership of that particular question that should you have that sort of a relationship in the bedroom. So he's saying that this is something that was, because I don't think it was known at that time, this sort of like a sexual picadillo, let's put it that way. So this sort of a sexual picadillo was not known at that time. So it is not, of course, captured in the Bible. So what this Bishop Chris is saying is that it is not captured in the Bible, and whatever kinks and weirdness that you like between yourself as a couple, you go and discuss it and do it, but don't bring it to me, because it is not, I am not a participant.
Yeah, that is why I say it's an individual opinion, because even the Bible says the two shall become one. So as long as the man or the woman, they are doing whatever they are doing within the purviews of their territory, I don't think there is any issue there. As long as two of them, they are adult, they are doing what they know how to do best. Because one mouthful is another mouth poison. So one A might like it, why B might dislike it. So in as much it's making A to happy within themselves, they should carry on with it, because there is no Babika backer, like what the man of God said. So as long as it's not Babika backer,
and even who is that person that is coming to the church forum to ask for step-by-step guide on what to do in the bedroom. Maybe they should go and watch porn or something if they need instructions. But it is not a pastor that is going to teach them.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm being a bit cheeky, but let's go to Lynn and then to Forthright. Lynn, what are you making of all of this? This person asking the pastor for guidance on how to, be with their partner in the other room, as Buhari will put it. Lynn?
I'm not going to go into any details.
Yes.
I want to say no comment. But
let me press you, because I mean, you don't have to.
You did say you weren't going to press
in vague terms, Just what should what should people be taking to their pastor, and what should the pastors be prescribing? Because Sly B was just saying an example now that some pastors have taken positions on how sexual positioning should be, and is this really a territory that people should be taking to the church, and is this something that the pastor should position? So you don't have to go into graphic details, of course, but just in broad strokes.
So I talk about peaceful living, right? So of course that involves relationship as well. So in a relationship where a man and a woman, the most important thing the clergy guy said apparently is communication. If you have communication with your husband and your wife, then just like Mr. Sly B said, then whatever you guys, that's your business. In regards to taking questions like that to church, I mean, it's part of what husband and wife will do. So unless they have somebody that can, don't they have marriage experts? Or I mean, that's something that needs to be done. Actually, they have marriage counseling.
Just on that point, Lynn Preen, because I've noticed this trend of people wanting to abdicate decisions and contract it out to somebody else so that they don't take responsibility for themselves. What decisions is actually down to the person, because if you're farming out every aspect, some people cannot even decide what to eat and they will ask somebody else. They can't decide what to wear and they will ask somebody else. They can't decide what to study and they will ask somebody else. They can't even decide if to brush their teeth and they will ask. So, I mean, what decision do you take ownership of? As a couple, if you cannot take ownership of moving with how your emotions guide you in your relationship, especially when you're together and you're taking it to the pastor for a step-by-step guide on how to be together as a couple, what decisions are you then making as a couple?
Well, it depends on how mature the couple is, but the most important thing is communication. That what the guy said, what the pastor said, I think is right. You go talk and figure it out on your own. But there are marriage counselors for people, because not everybody knows how to make decisions, and unfortunately not everybody knows what to expect and what to do in certain situations. So if there's marriage counselors in churches, if there's an avenue for them to ask that question, maybe not directly to the pastor, but maybe, I mean, I think there's a culture, I can't remember which culture and where in the world it is, where older women, I think, guide or teach the kids, teach the people that want to get married what to do and how to do it, and do it this way and do it that way. If they don't have this guidance, where are they supposed to find it?
Is there a video recording of that, and where can we?
I cannot remember.
I am African. He looks interested in that. So Forthright, what are you making of all that? Just really, however you want to approach it, but this just general topic of Forthright.
Oh well, my name is Forthright, right? So I must live up to my name.
Exactly. Carry on. Now you've put yourself on the spot. Go for it.
Well, this is where religion has made us into this people who cannot do our own thinking. In other words, we can't even say we're adults, we're not mature. We always have to go to our leaders in our religious settings to ask for guidance. it shows that we have not matured, we have not grown up. And that is why even in a Nigerian setting, you hear on the news media, they would refer to a 21-year-old person as a child, as a boy, as a girl, because they have not been shown how to take decisions of their own. Now, I have been in a women's conference where a lady actually asked that question.
This same question?
Yes, she asked that her husband wants, now how do I use this language? To lick the plate.
Right,
and she's
yes.
wondering if it is okay for her to allow him to do that. And the response she got was, it's not biblical. At which point I had to be controversial, and I had to speak up. And I said, where in the Bible does it say it? That it is wrong? Where? Now, I agree with what this Pastor Chris has said. He said it is up to them. You have become one. You decide what you want to do with yourselves, as long as it is not, so what you're doing is not at the expense of the other, or the other person does not feel comfortable with it.
Fortright, let me just put this in. Let me just put this into your narration as well. So, maybe you can incorporate it. Do you feel that this religion, not just Christianity, but religion in general, is a large percentage responsible for people having extramarital relationships? Because of course, if this person is going to the church to ask if they can give oral sex or receive oral sex, then already that is something you can deduce and assume from that that is something that they might not be comfortable with. So if their partner, so let's just for the purposes of the point, say that the person that is asking is female. So if the man then is wanting that, but the woman is not okay with it, then of course the man will seek that satisfaction somewhere else. So he will then have the assumption that he has a wife that is conservative at home, but then of course he has some freaky, as Mr. Macaroni will put it, on the side as a side chick. So is this sort of a mindset, is this what is really leading to that side chick phenomenon, with women being too religious in their one-on-one relationship with their partners, or people, not just women now, with couples being too religious in their one-on-one relationship, to the point that if the other person wants something outside of a conservative copulation, then of course they seek that outside. Fortright, and then I am African.
Partly. I wouldn't say that religion is the reason why men step out of their relationships, but it's partly the reason. So in this instance, the man wants to do, what he should be entitled to do. But if the woman is comfortable to give it to him, well, who is the church to say she shouldn't go ahead? She might even like it, but she's not experienced it before. So how is she meant to know? So they're meant to communicate. And this is about,
she's uncomfortable with it and the man wants it, then how is that resolved?
This is exactly, that's my next point. When we go into marriage counseling in church, they say communication is the key. Communication is the key. But what is the content of that communication? They don't tell you that you actually need to talk about things in detail. The styles. You have a garage. Is that a place that you might want to go and do whatever you want to do? Does it have to stay in the other room? Can you take yourselves away to certain places and do romantic stuff and things like that? So what is the content of that communication when it comes to the other room? They don't talk about that. It's almost like what we're talking about used to be something we don't talk about at all. It is bad and all that. So to answer your question, religion is partly the reason, not all of it.
And do you think as a society, I'm speaking to Nigeria now, and I'll put this question to you and have you reflect on it, Fortright, and I'll go to African and then come back to you. And then if Lynn Prin, because I'm not sure if Lynn Prin is entirely comfortable with the conversation, so if she wants to chime in, then she can chime in. But do you think that we as a society were too, I wouldn't say prudish, but conservative when it comes to matters of the other room? Do you think we are exploitative enough? Do you think we explore the options enough in the other room? So I am African. With that as part of your response, can you just respond to what this pastor is saying regarding oral sex and how the question was put, and just your general thoughts?
Yeah, I think I definitely share the opinion of what a lot of people have already said in terms of like, I do agree in terms of like what the pastor said is right. So it's called the other room for the reason that, you know, what you do there, it's just up to you. So it's not really like, oh, this is the rule. There's no rule. Like there's the saying in Yoruba, I can't remember how to interpret it properly, like inuli and Latin je ekute onidodo. So like literally you just do whatever you want inside.
I started to suspect you. I am Africa. I have started to suspect you. Don't carry on.
So you just have to, whatever you want to do is up to you. There's no rule. And people seem to forget sometimes when we're talking about religion and the Bible and everything, people seem to forget that not everything, absolutely everything is written there. And also, even if everything is written there, it's not really like what happened during that time.
Oh, we've lost him. So just to forthright, I'm sure I am Africa. We're back to complete his point. So just to forthright, that question now, do you, and you, Lynn, as well, if you want to chime in, just that question, do you think we as a society were too conservative when it comes to matters of the other room, and we skirt around the issues and we feel uncomfortable and we look the other way because we think it's immoral, it's some of like immorality, exploring each other's body as a couple and all of that. I mean, do you think we're too conservative when it comes to that?
Not anymore, we're not. Even in the church, people just don't talk about it, but they're doing stuff. And in this particular women's conference that I said, I actually had to speak up. When I started to say it,
Sorry, I lost connection.
When I said it's actually called licking the plate, there were some women in the background who started to give me thumbs up under the chair. So they're doing it, but it's something they.
So they were kicking your knees, Abeda, shut up.
No, they were giving thumbs up under the table.
Oh, they were okay.
But they would not have the confidence to say it. So they're doing it in their homes, but they're not allowed to in the church. But what you also find is now more women are finding themselves, are self-discovering, such that they, we don't care, this is what we want and that's it. And this is how we want it and that's it. Because in the past, we used to hear, and perhaps it still happens, that a lot of Black men prefer white women. Why?
Yeah, I think that's just for the exotic. I think that is starting to fade out now.
Yeah, exactly. That's one part of it. The other part is the white woman will do all those things.
Yeah, no, they are very liberal.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the Black woman is being taught to be conservative.
They will go and report you to pastor when you ask her to just move the leg a little bit. She will go and call pastor. That he asked me to move the leg. Go. What is this guy? Is a demon? No, fasting and prayers.
Exactly. So women are not
fasting and prayers for you.
Please, and pastor, stay your own side. I must. This man is my own. Let me do whatever.
And meanwhile, the pastor himself, all these things that we're hearing about these pastors, all the choir girls and everything,
Exactly.
I am African. You are back. So Forthright was saying about infusing or taking away from things that are not in the Bible. So if something is not in the Bible, they don't claim that it is biblical, because Forthright was saying that she was at a conference, which is like a religious sort of like a based conference, and a question was put about to use her euphemism, licking the plate. I think you understand what that means, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question was put about licking the plate, and the lead religious person there was saying that it is unbiblical to lick the plate. So the licking the plate is not, of course, covered in the Bible, and Forthright rightly put it to that person that please point me to that verse so that I can read it and preach it to other people. And of course, the guy could not point it out to her because it's not in the Bible. So what he is doing is infusing his own morality into the Bible and then claiming that it is biblical. So he should not be saying that it is biblical. He could say that morality might well frown against it, which it doesn't really, because it is not a moral issue. It's an issue of sexual satisfaction, or it's not even a sexual perversion, I don't think. It's just the normal functionings of a loving couple. So this idea of claiming that something that does not especially chime with your worldview is not in the Bible because you're a religious leader. So incorporate that into what you were saying before we lost you.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Actually, I think that actually goes into what I was saying in terms of like the Bible or Quran, whatever religious book. I mean, these were written. So, and it's not absolutely everything that happened during those times that were recorded. And even if they were recorded, a lot of things that happened during those times, you know, we're talking about thousands of years ago, they're not really kind of like maybe applicable nowadays. So, for example, you have when Jesus had to use the donkey. So I don't know, maybe now, maybe he's possibly going to be a jet that will be asked to get a jet or a drone to, you know, so yeah, so a lot of things. And well, I agree as well in terms of sometimes we are over religious in Africa. So, and then you just realize that, you know, the religions actually were brought to us, and then we are now even doing it, I don't know, even carrying it more than people that actually brought it to us. Yeah, so it's just, I mean, lastly, I think it's just about whatever you do inside, not even just about that room, but inside the house or wherever you are together as a couple. It's just up to you. So, and what one man said as well in terms of like, you know, if the man or the man is asking for whatever thing or the woman is asking for whatever thing, and you're not able to give it to her or him, then he might go and find it somewhere else. And then later on, then you have yourself to blame and it's like, oh, okay, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, yeah, but there are some things that he asked for that you think that is like devilish or demon, and then he's gone to get it somewhere else. But having said that, it's not the reason, it's not the only reason why people go out to look for someone else.
It's just greed, isn't it?
I mean, people that we do it anyway. So, but it's just one of the reasons.
But just to that,
the respect as well. I have to talk about respect in terms of like, it's one of the things I found out in Africa as well. We respect people in place of authority too much. The respect we give them is too much, like almost like whatever they say, it's like, oh, it's done deal. That's the right thing. You understand
Absolutely.
what I mean? So unlike when children are growing up, they even question you about things, and then you're like, oh, shut up. But yeah, but that's the way. The different environment, they question
it's
you.
bad parenting. That's that.
Authority.
You see that because I said so. When the child is asking you, and you're saying because I said so. Personally, I see that as bad parenting because you don't want to make the effort to explain that why question. But if you explain that why question to that child, not only are you explaining why what they are doing should be done or not be done, you are also giving them reasoning and logic, and they can then use that in similar situations. So you are giving them a tool, but then of course you say because I said so, and because I said so does not really advance that child in any way. But then of course it's because mommy or daddy said so.
Yeah, and also maturity as well. Like when we're talking about marriage, like adult, it's like a lot of people are not mature, so to be able to it's not just only about age actually in terms of like marriage. So some kind of like question that you had to be going to pastor or whatever to ask about, it just shows that you're not mature enough sometimes.
Okay. Just to something you said earlier, I am African. So off the back of what you said earlier, I'll go to forthright and then come back to you quickly, and then we go on to the next story. Just off the back of what we were discussing about somebody your partner's sexual wants suddenly coming to you as a surprise, to the point that you are looking to seek outsider guidance. In a lot of instances, in a lot of we speak to Christianhood now, but because I think that is what all of us really know the most. In a lot of these churches, before a couple gets married or before a single person gets married, they preach abstinence up till the wedding night. You know, so they preach abstinence. So does that abstinence then chime with this now thing that we're discussing, that you don't really know that person physically, sexually enough until you get married, and then after you get married, then you you have issues of compatibility. So forthright at that.
I think when it comes to abstinence,
Sex before marriage is really what I'm saying.
Yeah, I believe in that. I think it's the right way to go, and it's based on what I Am African had said about self-respect. If you really care about this person, why would you? Because in our society, from what we know from our culture, it's about the woman's virtue. So you want to protect her virtue up to that stage. Now, the problem now is nowadays we're having churches saying you have to be married in the church before you are declared married. But actually, that's not true. That's not even the Bible. Nobody in the Bible got married in a synagogue, in a church. It is about the families agreeing, the bride price being paid. So when you've done a traditional wedding, you are in essence married. So once that is done, you're free to do whatever you want with yourselves. Well, you might want to be thinking about the legality of it, but culturally, you are married. And then do this couple care about themselves? Does a man care about the wife? And it's all based on boiling down to communication. This is what I like. Do you mind? Talk about it. I like to tie people up. I don't like to
forthright. Can you think of instances where sex with outside of marriage might not be cheating? Can you think of an instance where somebody that is married but is having sex outside of that marriage might not be cheating?
I'm not sure I understand your question. Someone who's not married, who's having sex is cheating.
Yeah, can you think of how it might not be cheating?
It's always going to be a cheat. You can't. I don't think there's any time that it's not a cheating.
What if one of the partners is a loving relationship, a long-standing relationship, but one of the partners has some form of debilitation that can no longer facilitate for sex, but then of course the other partner is still fully sexually functional.
But so, sorry, can I talk? Is it all right?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on.
Okay, so I think we need something very important that we need to really understand is I totally agree with forthright in terms of like total abstinence before marriage. We need to really understand that marriage isn't only about sex. It's just one of it. So so it shouldn't really be that. Even if the other person now suddenly in a situation whereby for health or whatever reason. Then, because when you're getting married anyway, it's all about till death do us part. So,
right.
Well, I'm not talking about violence now. Like, say, maybe there is violence in the marriage and then you have to go your separate way. I'm not against divorce, but I'm just talking about, it's all about a lot of things, which sex is just one of it. So, it shouldn't really...
How significant a component is it in a relationship? You can use percentage terms. Use percentage terms.
No, I wouldn't really. Unfortunately, I wouldn't really be able to say percentage because it depends on who. So because different. I mean, we're adult here. Even though this is on the internet, I don't mind to say we're adult. So it's different people have different. Is it hot or whatever? How they want it, how much they want it. Even you have situation whereby some people. Especially the early periods of marriage. Some people is like maybe they want it every day. Some people maybe twice in a week or once in a why. So different people just have different. So it will depend on different individual to be able to know what percentage is it.
You're a politician. I am African, but are you a politician forthright? Just to that point that that I am African is saying that sex is just one aspect of a relationship. So how significant a component is it? And I try to force him to put percentage terms on it, but he suddenly turned to Bola Tinubu and he was doing Maradona dribbling. So are you going to dribble or are you going to be forthright?
Well, anybody can have sex, but not everybody can make love.
Yeah, no, yeah. But to that though, how important is it in a relationship?
Well, what your definition of sex is different from, or love making or intimacy is different from mine. And let me put this out there. Nature is a very wonderful thing. When nature takes one thing away from you, it compensates somehow else. So even if you come to a situation where somebody fell ill, maybe is disabled from bottom, waist down, or from neck down.
Or it could even be a mental debilitation.
You know what? We have a different part of the body that can do the needful. Okay? We have it there. And this is where it comes to, who is this person to me? Is this person someone that, what is important to me as a person? And it's relative, just like I Am African says. For some people, money is important to them. For some others, no, it is just a companionship. For some people, it is someone they can say, yes, this is my person. I know I can always depend on this person, and things like that. So people have a different preferences or whatever it is that make them tick. But in our society, in our African society, general Nigerians, now we don't think outside the box. So the person is not able to function in the typical way, but can you explore other ways? So like this person is saying, oh, they're telling her not to lick the plate, and then your husband will go out and lick somebody else's plate. I said to her, listen, after your husband has licked your own plate, you now need to get on your knees and lick you some lollipop. Nobody's
let me tell you what I think.
You can use your fingers, you can use your lips, you can use everything that God has given you. And even it doesn't have to be like that. There's intimacy is not just about sexual things. Sometimes intimacy is just having that good old chat. Is that good old walk in the park when you're holding each other's hands?
Just a couple more. Let me put my own opinion to you, and then let me put something to you also that like might well be the case in just the general human sphere. So my own opinion is that sex is a significant component of a relationship. I don't really think that I'm clear in my mind on that, but then of course I can only speak to myself. My understanding is that the first and foremost attraction that brings a couple together is usually sexual, and then of course in the course of developing, then they evolve into other components. Of course, companionship, friendship, partnership, feeling for some other person, all of that. But for me, sex is a significant component of a relationship. But what I also wanted to add on is people that are in a relationship 15 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, even 20 years down the line, how much of a role is the sex still part of that relationship? Or has it now become about the children, about the mortgage, about the church, about other incendiaries outside of that physical functioning as a couple? To you, Forthright first, and then to I Am African, and then I've gone to the next story. So Forthright, so when you're 15, 20 years into a relationship, how much a role does sex still play in that relationship?
It should still play the same role as from the very beginning. Again, what is it? What's your value really as a couple? Yes, children will come into play. Yes, we'll have the mortgages. Yes, we have, all our different our responsibilities out there. But have we now back to communication? We need to be talking at each stage, at each milestone in our life. How are we going to make sure that we don't fall apart? And we don't let all these things, all these responsibilities get in the way of our togetherness. So it's about talking. For instance, I've heard a lot of men saying, actually, recently somebody said to me, a man said, we women don't understand how much a man feels left out of the family the moment the woman has a child. And that was quite profound to me. I knew, and I've always told women, especially when they get married for the first time, I tell them, please when you have children, don't let your children come in between your relationship with your husband. Always set a day.
Yeah, so is those children a case of job done, the shop is now closed, sort of?
Well, no, it's about maturity. You see, men also need to understand, because in this conversation, I was trying to get the man to understand, look, when a woman has a child, right, the child does not care about everything else. The baby just needs to be attended to. The baby needs to be fed. The baby needs to be clothed. Even when you're trying to have this very intimate time, that is when the baby is going to cry. So the man needs to understand that she needs to cater for that. And in fact, this is where you need to come in and help as well. If you don't help, how are you going to know what it feels like to be doing what she does? You can't just sit reading newspaper while the baby is crying and she's trying to cook and she's trying to host. You also get involved and share this experience together. I always say that, and I say to them, look, especially when you have parents, grandparents there to help you, ship the children to grandparents and have your time and have your quality time. Don't always think that.
Just on that, because we're talking about how children come into and change the dynamics of a relationship between a couple. Should we then say that that first year too of that child should be like a free pass for that man to sort of like get whatever he is looking for just outside of that marriage, so long as they.
Nope.
Is that a free pass? Is this a look the other way sort of period? That's
no. Like I said, he needs to, when he's involved and he does the waking up at night to feed the baby, he'll understand where she's coming from when she says she's tired. So this is not a time to step out of the marriage because you are being deprived of something. You think she doesn't want it? This is the notion that men have, that women don't like sex. There's nothing far from the truth. We're just being burdened with all these responsibilities and we don't know how to get, or most women don't know how to get out of it. And I mentor couples and I say to them, listen, you the man, especially those that are my friend, yes, she does not have my time. And I said, have you taken the children away for once and say, let me go and play with them in the park? I don't have the time for that. When I get, exactly, but who then engages the children? She does. So when is she going to have time for you?
Okay, let's bring I Am African in. Just to what everything that just your comments on what Forthright has said, and then I'll go on to the next narrative.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So this is the thing. It doesn't really matter what. It doesn't matter how we look at it. There is always life will always come in the way, and that is the fact. So there's nothing anybody can do about it. You just have to make adjustment. So you're not really going to expect that when you are still like girlfriend and boyfriend or the first year of marriage before children comes in, and then you expect that the same way life will continue that way. It's never really going to happen because life will come in the way. The children will come in the way. Even if children don't even come in the way, there will be other part of life, job, somebody come back from work and tired, or a lot of things. So which means that everybody on both parts, then you have to kind of like make necessary adjustment that need to be made. And then this is where maturity comes in as well. And then also what Forthright just talked about in terms of like, I think from men perspective as well, like this kind of like African culture whereby the man is not really doing anything. So he's just sit there, they just bring food, and then they even bring water to wash hands.
Yes,
wash
now.
hand on the table.
And then long may that continue.
You finish eating and then you leave the food there, they come and carry the plate away and all of that. So, but, if you have that mindset and then you're not really going to, especially coming to Europe or America, then you just need to adjust. And, like Spotlight said, take the children to the park and then also, just take up some things in the house and lift off some of the weight so that the woman is not going to say she's tired. So because you are able to actually participate and do some of the chores and all.
But then you will be tired. You both be too tired to. Anyway, so we started off with the wedding, and then we've gone on to this.
Sorry,
so
this is it for me anyway. I'm just off now. And,
okay, we can see you in the car. So thank you. I Am African.
Okay.
Forthright.
Yes. Now let me say, I'm not trying to make case for women here. Okay. I've also said to women that let me tell you what you do wrong. You have a baby, and then you don't let the man participate in caring for the baby. And this is how you do it. When the man wants to bathe the baby, you say, please don't drop my baby. Oh, look at the way he's carrying the baby. He's not carrying, the head is not positioned right. So you take the child away from him. So what's he going to do? Whatever he does, you put him down. You tell him he doesn't fold the clothes properly. You told him he mixed the white with colored clothes. You've ruined the clothes rather than actually saying thank you. And look, the laundry is done. Whether the white is white or the white is not white, he's done the nappy for the baby. Whether the nappy is done the wrong way around, he has done it. So we need to be letting go as women and let the men do.
Traditionally, the child is usually only ever handed to the man from the age of 3 thereabout when it's ready to kick a ball, because for those first 3 years, the women usually, as you've just described, they guard that child jealously and say, no, like you said, you are not resting the head, you are not doing this. The level of supervision that you get, you just hand the child back and say, okay, more sort of a thing.
Exactly.
So really, up to the age of 3, really, that is when the child is really then handed to the man that is trusted to participate. So forthright, we started off with that wedding scenario, and then we've gone on to this pastor talking about oral sex now. So it's building to a crescendo. So the last narrative now, if you want to run away, you can run away, because of course you can see the build up. And so the last narrative lands on this. So if you choose to leave, you choose to leave. But then, of course, if you stay, then I'll take your opinions on this. I'll bring you this. Put yourself on mute. So this now is something that happened in Lagos, and this guy is recounting it to the public. So how Nigerian lady offered Lagos Uber driver sex in exchange for payment, and what he did. So this is now the going on. And this is, by the way, not something that is just a one-off. This is something that we have heard of before, not just in Nigeria, but globally, the taximan experience. And here is a taximan now narrating his experience with what I'm assuming is a young lady to the public. So again, how Nigerian lady offered Lagos Uber driver sex in exchange for payment, and what he did. So now let's now find out exactly what played out here. A Nigerian Uber driver has recounted how he unknowingly picked up a lady who had offered him marathon sex in exchange for payment after a long trip. According to the Uber driver, whilst narrating his ordeal with the young lady, who engaged him in a severe fight because he refused to honor her request to sleep with her, he revealed that when they finally got to Unilag through Yaba and Ojuelegba, she opted to pay with transfer, which he refused. She climbed down to use a POS to withdraw, but unfortunately, it was declined because of insufficient funds. She motioned at him to enter the vehicle, which he did, and she began to make advances at him to sleep with her as many times as he likes. So this is the narration, but then of course I've read it out, but let's hear it directly from the guy himself, because he goes on to share it with us in fuller detail. So listen to this.
Somebody from Abulegba to Yaba, from Yaba to Unilag. Now on getting there, now, she don't want to pay me. She said that she want to do transfer. I said no, I don't want transfer. Give me the money cash. To cut the whole thing short, yeah, the lady now went to the POS. No money on account. So she now called me as you come to the car. I now enter the car. She now say, okay, as man fuck her as I like that. If I finish, the money will go from there. I said no, I beg. I know the fuck. I know the fuck on duty. So as I did like this, now my money I did after. I did road because of money, no be to fuck. I beg, pay me my money. Now then I start to.
So there it is. Excusing the F word that the guy used, because of course that is his language of choice, and really speaking to the morality, just how loose and casually women now are willing to give away what was once a prized thing that a man had to work hard to gain access to. So to that point then that she had insufficient funds in her account, and she has chosen then to use her body as payment. Forthright, the morality of these days.
Well, good on him that he has any morals. So well done to the young man. I can imagine how many Uber drivers would have just done that and moved on, and nothing would be heard of it. This is not an excuse, but this is what the Nigerian setting has turned people to as well.
Yes, yes.
Unfortunately,
So
it does happen in this society, but a lot of people generally, even men, are now gigolos. Okay, they have relations with elderly, rich women, so that they can sustain themselves through school and through life. We don't have any social welfare. So in this case, what she meant to do? Obviously, she's done it before. Well, maybe not.
Yeah,
in this,
that was what I was. That was what I was
maybe not
wanting.
An Uber driver, but it's almost become a norm in Nigeria for you to do that. Even in the work setting, your boss would want to sleep, even to get a job. You're a young lady, you're applying for a job, you go for the interview, and the person interview will say, if you just give it to me, you got a job. So unfortunately, this is what
it's quite tragic, because when I was listening to that story, when I was going through it, I was just reflecting on that young lady, and I was saying, okay, if she can just randomly say to the taxi driver that just have your way and your will with me, just in lieu of a taxi fare, then how is she negotiating her way through life? Because like you said, she wants that job, she gives it up. She wants this and that, she gives it up. How many times is she giving it up in a day, even never mind in a week? Just exactly. the self-respect or lack of, or are we saying the circumstances in Nigeria is such now? Because I was saying the other day that do you know what an aristo is?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I was saying the other day that a good percentage, I was even rating it as high as 40%, of the girls in all the tertiary institutions in Nigeria, they cannot go through that system, and they do not go through that system without having some sort of at least one or two aristos, the one that pays the mobile phone bills, the one that pays the rent, the one that buys the clothes, etc.
Yes, so let's put things into perspective. So you have children who grow up in a system where education is not really free. Their father is employed in a local government or is a public worker, gets how much in salary. The mother is a trader, a petty trader. So how is this child meant to go through higher institution? There's no hope for that child. And the child wants to be educated, because in a Nigerian society, if you're not educated, you are not relevant. So the child will have to do whatever the child can do to make sure they go through. So for anybody to come up, and I've heard this, even when I was in Nigeria, I've heard this, how can they stoop so low? And that's because you are not in the position. You don't know where the shoe hurts. It's okay for you to say that because your father is paying your fees. Okay, even for these people to feed sometimes is really difficult. And you've even heard of lecturers who do the same thing.
For marks,
Actually, I had a situation when I went to Yaba, and this lecturer would show up late for each session, would never answer questions and all of that, and then you will have to buy his books before you can get a pass mark. So we sat his exams, and then one day after the exams, he said, "Oh, you have failed. Come and see me in my office." To do what? He told me I've already failed. So what do I want to come and see in your office for? And I said, well, I've failed. Just give me my result as it is. Because I know what he was saying. So, and I repeated that class.
But you had the strength to resist that. Imagine somebody that was not as robust as you, somebody slightly more brittle, and then she's thinking, of course, that if I fail this thing, I would not graduate with my set. I will have to pay another set of fees, etc., etc. And when it says come and see me in my office, you and anybody else knows what that, because I think people have actually exposed to them enough, so we all know what that means. So that brittle girl that is easily taken to fear, she would just say, let me just close my eyes and do it, and then she would just close her eyes and do it and get her marks, and that's just another one that's just passed through her.
Maybe I didn't even have the strength. Maybe I just had an option. Maybe I had somebody else something else I could fall back on. Some people don't. Some people don't. And I'm not saying that's the only reason why women do it. These days it's all about, I want to belong into the, I want to be a slave queen and all that kind of thing. So some women do it for that. It's become the norm now, as I understand from what I hear from my friends back home. Everybody wants to wear that designer shoe, wants to wear have that designer bag. So, and immorality is just out the door in that country, unfortunately.
It's just, especially Lagos, it's just a cesspit of all manners of debauchery and depravity, and it's just wild. If you go to Lagos and you're not wild, just go to Ibadan and go and relax there, because you don't belong in Lagos. It's kill or be killed, isn't it, in that Lagos? Kill or be killed.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
So, okay, Forthright, we're coming to the end of it. It's usually a shorter session in the afternoons. So this has been, of course, a complete departure from our usual Buhari bashing and calling out Nnamdi Kanu, and then somebody coming to call me Igbo haters and whatnot. So a new subject I mentioned to the, what have you made of it, this session?
Oh, the previous one before today?
No, this particular session, because of course, usually it's just politics, but I'm trying to infuse.
It's a breath of fresh air, actually.
Just a human element, not.
Yeah, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, so it's been wonderful. I have certainly been entertained, and I'll be trying to do this every so often. Of course, I'm not moving away from the politics, but this is going to be part of the diet now as we continue to move forward. And always a delight, of course, to have you Forthright, and as ever, you've lived up to your name. So please come and do that again whenever you're chanced. So that is Forthright. It does exactly what it says on the tin. She gives it to you exactly straight, how she sees it. So it's up to you then whether you want to take it or not. So that has been Forthright. And as I was saying to Forthright, this is a total departure, of course, from the expectations of Buhari flogging and Tinubu kicking and Nnamdi Kanu dissing and then fighting with the Nzobo merchants, etc., etc. So a new dimension. But then what are you making of it? I'm not hearing that many comments in the comment section, actually. So I'll go through the comments and then as we seek to round off. So let's see what comments, if any, is being made. So Ebube says there's nothing wrong with this lady. So he was referencing the first story of this lady. Let me just play that as I'm rounding up, so that I can play in the background. So what Ebube is referencing is this particular clip that we started off with that lady in green that you see dancing at somebody else's wedding, trying to steal the limelight from the bride. And we were trying to speak up to the morality of that, especially as pertains to the sisterhood that women are meant to have for each other. But Ebube is saying that there is nothing wrong with it. So Freddie comes in. This one is for the ladies, so I better stay clear. You don't have to stay clear, Freddie. I Am African came in, and he had some quite interesting thoughts to make. So Drake comes in. The ladies might know better. Ladies come in and say something. So all the men are running now from, it's a funny thing because we're talking about couples, and part of the traditional couple includes a man, but then of course, nobody wants to voice an opinion. Drake, one man went to Mo, you are so interested in the lady with big boobies. How come? Well, that is just for educational purposes, of course. Moving swiftly on. Showbox, yeah, one man likes good things. Well, I'm not quite sure what good things are. Don't steer me in any direction that I have not embarked upon. Showbox. Ernest, hi guys. Ebube comes back. There is nothing wrong with her dressing. She's searching for a husband as well. Yes, yes, we did reflect on that, but then we're also reflecting on, because we're not talking about her on somebody else's wedding day, and anybody that sees the videos of the wedding will be talking about her more than the bride. So we're talking, what we're saying essentially is that, is this really fair to the bride that she will come and present herself in this manner at somebody else's wedding? So that was the question. So Drake comes back. Ha 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 ha. One man went to Mo. You were once a hard man. I like your waist. Nice one. So I'm not quite sure, but I'll just so Ebube says he loves licking the plate in reference to forthright euphemism. Son of Adams or Carfor, you lie. So no, you can't tell him that he's lying. He knows what he likes, and he's saying, this is what really, you know, this sort of statement, it really catches me off guard. Somebody is saying that I like this, and you're telling him that he's lying. I mean, who are you, or how are you positioned to even make that statement? It's outlandish and outrageous, but then of course, you know, freedom of speech. Jason, God bless you, the speaker. So somebody has said something that chimes with Jason. Jason carries on. We don't have a nation. Nigeria is a scam. So even with something that is completely outside of politics, the same mantra still. Jason, Nigeria is a destiny destroyer. So I think that chimes with the closing remarks that we had with that we heard from Forthright. Jason carries on. We are demanding for our nation. Some people are thinking that it's a police and we're looking for money. I'm not quite sure what that has to do with what was discussed. That artificial, okay, so pretty much anti-Nigerian sentiment is really all Jason is interested in. So he didn't get the memo that we were tackling a different topic today, but that has been the topic. We started off with the propriety of a woman trying to outshine another woman on a wedding day, and then we went on to a narrative of a lady offering her services in lieu of payment. And when I say her services, you know exactly what that means. So we went on to a lady offering her services in lieu of payment to a taxi driver. Oh no, actually, we went on to the morality of oral sex as presented by a bishop called Chris, and then we landed on the sexy. On the sex taxi driver payment thing. So that has been the theme, and it's been interesting and engaging, and especially Forthright has made it quite interesting because she wasn't really having any no-go areas, and she was quite willing to be forthright with her thoughts on everything, as was Lynn and I am African as well. I am African is a YouTuber, by the way. So if once you finish watching this video, then just go directly, type that name is I am, and then African, he spells that with a K in the middle. So search that name on YouTube, and if you enjoyed his opinion like I have, then you go immediately there to go engage with him and carry conversations on with him, and of course subscribe to his channel as well. So that has been the session. We'll reconvene, of course, in the evenings when normal services resume. Buhari kicking, Tinubu slapping, Nnamdi Kanu dissing, and fighting with the Igbos. So nothing changes in the afternoon, but I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.